Do. Hi guys, Legendary Talks here. How y'all feeling tonight? Great to see you. Thank you for joining in. What's up? Hey guys, how are you? How you feeling? Trying to pin this thing. You know, pinning is the bane of my existence. Oh, got it. Okay, good. Okay. Hi guys, welcome. Legendary Talks here. This is my 54th night in a row. Very excited to have our guest tonight. He is an actor of one of my favorite movies of all time called The Last Dragon. I want to talk to him, about life and culture and obviously about the movie. He's a martial artist, and which he's been for, I think, most of his life. And, I'm really excited to chat with him. He's a total legend and, a legend of culture, I think, and, of coolness. So I'm really excited to chat with him. What should our drinking word be tonight? We did Madonna the other night because we just tend to talk about Madonna a lot in here. And then we did Grace Jones because it was her birthday. Yes, Bruce Leroy. Taimak is his name. So we did Grace Jones because it was her birthday the other day. And then we did Prince. And then last night we did Gold because I was wearing gold. But you guys pick the word. You guys give me some suggestions, and then I will ask Taimak. He'll get to make the final choice. But you guys pick what words you think we should suggestions for the drinking word. It could be, you guys decide. Give me your suggestions for a drinking word. And what are you drinking, by the way? Let me know what you're drinking and what we should use as the drinking word. Yes, I remember you as well from the Mercedes Club. Exactly, I know you. I know who you are. Vanity is one of the... Ooh, what's up? Aaron made me. You're drinking water, good. Belvedere, good. I'm drinking Belvedere and soda. Wine, good. Okay, so we're taking suggestions, hey Jen, for the drinking word. So far we have vanity. I'm going to let Taimak choose, but I want to know what... give me some more suggestions. Drinking word, glow. Okay. Vanity, glow. Something, more... No, well, I'm going to let him choose, actually. Hi. I'm what, Aaron? My goblet, okay. So what's going on, guys? How you feeling? Aaron, I'm shocked you're up this late. I'm really surprised. Granny, exactly. Show enough, that's kind of a good one. Barry Gordy, Seventh Heaven. Okay, there's a lot of good ones. Okay. I mean, I'm going to see what he wants to do. So we have Vanity, Barry Gordy, Seventh Heaven, The Glow. Any other original ones? Erin just said she misses me. Obviously, she's drunk. She doesn't say those kind of things. What's up, guys? How you feeling? Legendary Talks. This is something we do. I do it 7 nights a week. And it is... I just basically talk to my cool friends about music and culture. So we had Estelle last night. Next week we have Ben Pundle. I have DJ Ruckus. Some really cool people. Hi, Sydney. Mr. Green Pizza. That's a good one. Yes, Bruce Leroy. Character name. What's up, Trace Lissette? Taimak will be here momentarily. The star of one of my favorite movies, The Last Dragon. I am very excited to chat with him about all things music and culture on Legendary Talks, my 54th episode in a row. Trace was on last Friday, Trace Lissette. She's on right now. How was it for you, Trace? Hey, Claudine. Great to see you. Hey, Sydney. Yeah, Trace and I had a great talk last Friday. I loved it. It's up on my IG Live if anybody wants to see it. I'm gonna put my timer on because I always go over. That sounds good. Okay. No, actually. Um, hey Claudine, what's up, guys? Master, okay. Loved it. So much easier talking to friends than a journalist. Exactly. Trace and I had a very cool, chill, organic conversation. I loved it. Sydney said she loved yours as well. A lot of people said it, Trace. I told you. People have been hitting me up all week that they loved yours. So thank you for doing it. Maybe we'll do a part 2 during Pride Month or something. Who knows? What is everyone drinking? Hey, Natasha. Thank you, Claudine. I am having Belvedere and soda. Natasha, what are you drinking? I'm glad you're on. Hey, Autie. Tokyo Bodega. Yes, it was great. Good. Rosé, good. Belvedere, of course, good. So far for the drinking words, we have Vanity, The Glow, Very Gordy, and one more I can't remember. Sangria, that's good. I'm going to request him. I think he's on. I don't know if he's on yet. So I just requested him. We'll see if he's here yet. He's being, the star that he is. Remy Martin, good. Gotta be Shonuff and Last Dragon. Yes, exactly. Hey, Chandra, what's up? Thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, here he is. Okay, great. Hey, how you doing? Listen, that's good.
You hear the music in the background?
No, what is it?
This is At Midnight.
Oh, good. It's almost midnight in New York, right? Oh, good. Thank you for setting the tone.
Where's the music? Come on, baby. Put some music on.
Well, they won't be able to hear if I play music. I've done, they won't be able to hear us. So,
Okay.
How you feeling?
I feel good. I'm with you over here with your people.
Good.
Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody?
The legendary Taimak.
Hey.
So Taimak, a little bit about Taimak. Sorry, a little bit about this show.
Sidekick.
Is that it is I do it every night of the week. It's called Legendary Talks, and I basically interview my cool friends about music and culture. So, you being a very important person of culture, I thought it'd be great if I got you to agree to do an interview, which you did, and I'm very happy. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Legendary Damon.
Yes, like I said, just two cool guys, two legends chatting about culture. That's what's going to happen over here. So, so first I want to start a little bit. So you're from, I read in your bio today, you're from LA. You're born in LA, right?
I'm from New York, but my parents had my brother and I in New York, in LA, in Los Angeles.
Got it. And then you moved back to New York.
2 years old, they flew back to New York. Because
Harlem, right?
My father was selling weed, and his parents were going crazy because my father was 19 years old, having kids with a black woman, two kids. Hey, we have to be transparent.
Yes, of course. And then you moved to Harlem, right?
My mother's from Harlem. We moved back.
Got it. Okay, yeah.
We lived in Manhattan mostly, Upper West Side.
Got it.
Actually Central Park West, 100th Street. But we moved around.
Got it. And so what were some of your musical influences as a very young child, like 6, 7, 10 years old? What were
I was crazy about Wilson Pickett, but I was one of those kids that knew how to dance really well with the Funky Chicken, the James Brown, and all those things. So whenever my parents threw parties, which was pretty often, they had a lot of artists that were close to them. Just imagine you, Damon. You have so many artists that are close to you. My parents were a part of a bohemian clique in New York City in the Village, and they had these parties all the time with, I mean, everybody from Jimi Hendrix to Lou Gossett Jr., Andy Warhol. All these people were around, you know.
That's because I've heard a lot about your parents and them being really kind of creative and kind of like sort of free spirited, right? That's fair to say, no?
Well, of course, that was the era.
Yeah.
You know, there were
Yeah.
hippies and cool people, and then there was the really hard-ass right-wing, get a haircut
Yeah.
and go to church. Not to
So
talk
yeah.
bad about church, I'm just saying.
No, I know what you mean. Just right wing conservative, let's say. So I didn't know that. That's amazing that you were growing up around Jimmy. So you were like around Jimi Hendrix and Andy Warhol and all these people.
Yeah, well, all of them were friends of my parents. Remember, they were. This was a young crowd back then in the '60s.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they weren't. They were. Everybody was. Not everybody was famous. They became famous, and at that time, and they were.
But
part
they were
of the,
cool. They were probably all just cool, and some became famous, some didn't, but they were all cool in general, right?
Right, they were all people getting most of them were artists or writers, and you know,
Yeah.
different, but mostly a lot of artists around my parents.
Creatives.
Because my father was very creative, and he threw costume
Yeah.
balls, and he was very original, you know. And so was my mother, you know.
How many siblings do you have again?
Same mother and father. My mother had 2 children before she met my father, so I have 2 half brothers, and then my mother and father had 4 of us, and they had broken up, and my father had more children.
But are all of the siblings creative, or is it kind of like you're more creative than others, or are they all kind of creative?
It's interesting because everybody has a certain amount of creativity. I think I took to it more than everyone. My brother did take to it. He has a graphic design company.
Yeah.
But my sisters, yeah. But I guess I'm more leaning creative than everybody.
Yeah, you're the more creative. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Okay, so what was the first kind of song that you
What about
remember?
all those
really...
people that are commenting? You don't talk to them?
I mean, we can, but listen, at the end, I like to take questions at the end.
You're
can,
so
if you
rude.
want.
You're so rude.
No, but listen, I've learned it's a distraction. You're more than welcome to if you want, but like, you know,
Hey,
just
look. Yeah. Hey, what's up?
give some shout outs if you want.
There goes my girl from Brazil.
We're going to take questions at the end.
Yeah.
We're going to take questions at the end for sure. Also, we play a drinking game every night, and I asked
What's up? Makeover run. I go with Jack. What's up? What's up? Victoria. What's that? Nettie artwork. I can't believe he's cracking up. They're making fun. They're having fun, Damon. Don't look. We're here with Damon, legendary Damon.
Yes.
And I haven't had a haircut in 3 months.
Me either. I cut my own hair. It's not good. Okay, so we have a drinking game every night, and I have the guests pick the recommendations, and you get to choose the word. So they came up with vanity, the glow, or Barry Gordy as the drinking word. Vanity. Okay, vanity is the drinking word. I love vanity.
Come on.
There you go. Okay, getting back to you. Okay.
Glow.
Yes, exactly. So, what was the first song you remember really kind of connecting to as a young person, being like, this makes you feel great?
The first song I connected to as a young person, the furthest back I can remember. Well, oh my God. There was so much music around. There was so much. Oh my God, that's a good question. There was music everywhere. If I go into, teenage years.
Yeah.
Man, the music was so good. The music was like fun music, you know?
Yeah.
The 80s was a fun era. So the list could go on and on and on. Just click on YouTube and get club music from the 80s. And then there were love songs. There was Les Chic Freak
Freak
Out.
Out. Yep. That's good. Okay, I'll take that.
It was a bunch of them, yeah.
What was the first concert you went to? Do you remember?
Oh my God. I didn't go to a lot of concerts when I was a kid because all the parties with the clubs and all the stars, singers were coming to the clubs back then.
Got it.
But I'm trying to think. Well, oh man. Yeah, it wasn't so much about the concerts because they were showing up at the clubs, you know?
Yeah, I get it. What was the first club you went to in New York?
Well, I got a funny story. When I was 15, there was Studio 54 was like the talk of the world.
Wow.
Because imagine there weren't really many clubs. There were
Yeah.
bars and restaurants.
Yep.
And Studio 54 was like one of the first like elite type of club that everybody in the world wanted to get into.
Yep.
Because at that time, every socialite and movie star and all that crowd was inside this place. So, and then Stephen Rubell was part owner, and he would hide behind the front door and peek through the door to see who to let in. And then
I love that.
And then he would tell the head of the guest list. Remember, they didn't have ropes before that. They invented ropes. And he'd tell, okay, let those people in. So there'd be like hundreds of people outside, and about 5 people would be let in, and they would just wait there for hours. So I'm 15 with my high school friends because that was like, we just wanted to wait there to see it. Maybe Michael Jackson or maybe these people like that.
Yeah.
Diana Ross,
just to look at the scene. Yeah.
Everybody, we're waiting to see them, so we would go crazy as kids. And then what happened was I had a friend that was 16 that knew one of the bouncers there named Al. Not a bouncer, he was one of the guest lists. He had the guest list. And he said, I don't know how my friend figured it out. I don't even remember. But there were like 4 of us, and we're all very young. And he told my friend said, Al says if you go to the back of the Sushi 4, the other street, the 3rd Street, by the back entrance, somebody's going to open the door for you and go inside. So we waited there about half an hour, and before you know it, the door creaked open. A bouncer looked at us and let us in. And I don't know how he figured that out to let us in, because we just were out of, we're like fish out of water. And when we went in there, we ran right to the dance floor, and we started jumping around like monkeys. And we were so excited. Imagine you're 15, 16, that some other bouncers didn't get the note. The Al said it was okay, or we were being too much, and they threw us out. But we were so happy that we had about 10 to 15 minutes in that because nobody else from our school ever had gone inside 54.
Yeah, the coolest guys in school. You went to Studio 54. That's an amazing story.
That's right.
So what were some of the clubs that you went to during that time after that?
Okay, there was a million of them. There was the Paradise Garage was so Studio 54 was like the mainstream that everybody and got all the attention. Then there was the Paradise Garage was the underground place that people all heard about. And there was a lot of they were like gay clubs, but they had a straight night. So it was very no judgments type place. So I grew up kind of macho friends and everything, and I didn't really know my mother had gay friends, so I was used to seeing, but when I went out, it was a whole different ballgame. And I would see straight-looking gay guys, so it really confused me. But everybody was so cool,
Well, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, but anyway, these clubs were like an awakening for teenagers, like, wow, okay, this is the world where you can have fun. And it was run by a lot of, incredible artists, but it was a lot of, gay crowds, and it wasn't everybody that was throwing the best parties. You know what I'm saying? that were just so incredible, you know.
Well, what I learned, because I've talked to a lot of people from like that early 80s era, and they were saying something really interesting to me, is that like it'd be like a punk rocker, some punk rockers, some drag queens, some hip hop guys.
CBGB's down the village was, east.
Yeah, we're kind of mixing, and it only seemed to get more, kind of segregated in the late 80s. The early 80s seemed like it was very mixed together, in the clubs at least.
Right, so. Right, exactly. It was just imagine, your friends, maybe I have a girlfriend, they're friends of yours, and you say, Ty, I'm taking over this loft downtown, and it's like, like 400 people, and we start throwing a party. Next thing you know, everybody wants to go there, so you rent a club out, and then you bring all your friends and my friends, and before you know it, it's the best DJ of that time DJing, and those are how it happened. It was amazing.
Well, everyone again on this show, like Larry Levan and Paradise Garage had been brought up pretty much almost every night, because everyone says that was the mecca of like the 80s. That something about that club was so pinnacle and inspirational and influential to most people.
Right, because it was kind of more after. Studio 54 after hours. Studio 54 would go on till 5 and close at 5 in the morning. And then, remember, there's a young crowd, and there was a lot of cocaine and drugs, and I wasn't into it that deeply, but what happened was you have so much energy. Everything from 17 to 35-year-olds, but mostly between 17 and 30-year-olds were in these places. And so energized, they don't know what to do with themselves at 5 in the morning. They're not going home because the party's so good, There's no way you're going to go home. So you try, if you have a friend that has a membership, because you need a membership to get into Paradise Garage. A member could bring 4 people. So anyway, that's where you go. And garage is open to 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
And if you had more energy, which you usually did, and you couldn't stop, you just couldn't stop, you wouldn't go home, there was a place called The Loft. And that was very underground. And that was David Mancuso. And David Mancuso at that time only spun with one record player. And he would get music that was out of this world that you never heard of from other countries, and he'd play, and that's when people started to clap after the song, because he had to change the record.
And that's like early 80s, like 82, 83 or something? When is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it went on to like mid-80s,
Yeah. And then do you have any Grace Jones stories about Paradise Garage? Because everyone has a Grace Jones. Yeah, everyone has a Grace Jones story.
She was tight with my mother. Yeah, she was tight with my mother. And she was...
Really?
Yeah, they were good friends, Because my mother lived in Paris, and Grace Jones was in Paris, and she was just beautiful. I mean, she was balls out. She didn't give a damn.
Still doesn't.
And she was just the epitome of style and bold. I remember at the garage when she came on stage, everybody would just wait for hours, and it would Larry Levan would turn all the lights off dark. And do you remember when she had that head piece like that?
Yeah.
Sticking out. They had a spotlight on a top speaker on the stage in the left-hand corner. Okay. So it's completely black. It's packed in there. And then a spotlight hits her head profile, and all you see is this thing sticking up like that. And she's, starting with her pull through the bumper, baby, or one of those things. And people go crazy.
No, I love her. Amazing. She's an amazing visual artist. I love her.
I mean, I brought Madonna on stage when I was 17. I actually I choreographed her martial arts segment in her Drowned World tour.
Yes.
But I took her on stage when I was 17 because I was doing security at 1018s. It was a club back then too, on 10th Avenue and 18th Street. And she was only a few years older than me. So she was like 20 or something like that, and she had 2 guys with her, dancers, and they told me bring her, because she wasn't a big name. She just had a song out that was doing well, Borderline or one of them, you know.
Yeah.
And I took her on stage, and she did her number and left. But she was nice. She was sweet.
She was nice.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
young. She was like a kid, you know.
I love Madonna, first of all, but yeah, that's great. So that was 10/18, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, you know, you sound like you have a very rich and cultured, you know, teenage years and childhood. That's amazing. What do you think? How did the clubs impact you during that time? How did you get? Like, what do you think you learned from all
The
that?
difference, of course, there was New York. There was high crime, much worse than now.
Yeah.
Doesn't compare. So there were places you knew that you shouldn't go because maybe there were some guys that were. It wasn't so much the guns; it was more the knives. Some people had guns, you know, but the places that my friends and I would frequent, although there was some danger there, we all knew each other, so we looked out for each other.
Yeah.
But there was an air of from the '70s, the kind of residue from the '70s. There was an air of peace and love. There was a peace and love where everybody was about peace and love. We didn't have the internet to open our big mouths and talk about each other, you know. So that came down to a minimum.
Yeah.
You know? So there wasn't this big political. There was politics, but it wasn't hitting the young crowd. The young crowd was just wanting to have fun, and that's what we did. So,
like they still are.
Right.
Wait, shout out to CeeLo. Hey, CeeLo, we see you. What's up? And then, what did New York or Harlem, I guess, teach you? I guess during your like teenage years. What's the one takeaway you think, or what do you learn from that?
Well, my oldest brother, my half brother, was in Harlem more than I was, but it wasn't like the place what it is now, you know.
Yeah.
So there was some places that you didn't want to spend too much time because of gangs or whatever else, you know. But the city, you know, in Soho, it was dead. There was nothing going on there.
Yeah.
There were just these big spaces and these lofts.
Yeah.
And the rents weren't what they are now. So there would be artists and they're just painting and, you know, and maybe you go with your friend and you end up in one of these lofts, you know, having fun and watching one of these artists do some incredible work. Keith Haring lived over there. Keith Haring was really nice. He used to come, he came to a play I did when I was like right after the last Dragon, or before the last Dragon, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was really sweet. He used to go to the garage a lot.
I think too, New York, you know, during that time is, you know, I don't know, don't know firsthand, but I studied it. I think New York was in such a kind of desperate state that it spawned all this creativity. It was extremely creative during that like early '80s period because, you know, it was like lots of crime and not a lot of money and all these different things. So it really made people be extra creative. I think, you know, it really lent itself to that. You mean?
Well, yeah. Well, it started all in the '70s. You know.
Yeah.
All the music and there was a need for creativity. For, you know, whenever there's a lot of pain, Vietnam, you know, that was very painful to a lot of people. A lot of people's children were at war, you know,
you're right.
Young kids. So yeah, all that creativity was there to share what's in their heart, you know.
And during that time, was there anyone that kind of mentored you or that you looked up to?
Anybody that could help me fight better.
Got it. Okay. And then what was it?
Walk in the streets, you know. You walk in the streets.
Yeah, I get it. So, yeah. So what was it about martial arts that drew you in?
Damon, you get it?
What was it about martial arts that drew you in? Like, what is it that drew you know?
When I was a kid, my father used to get picked on because good-looking guy, and all the guys in his neighborhood used to pick on him. So he had me and my brother, and he wanted us to do karate. So we started when we were little kids. And I stuck to it. It stuck with me because I saw a commercial with Bruce Lee, and he was like, it's like if you are like a little basketball enthusiast at 7 and you watch Michael Jordan dunk or something.
Yeah.
It looks like God. So that's what Bruce Lee represented. So I had the dream of being like him, and then I was born the year of the dragon like Bruce Lee, and I ended up obviously doing the movie, you know.
Got it. Okay, so yes, that brings us to The Last Dragon. starring you and Vanity. Everybody take a drink, Vanity. So did you kind of stumble upon that movie, or is that something that you were like avidly pursuing, or how did that come about?
Destiny. It was a dream that was in my heart as a child. And,
Okay.
you know, if you have a dream and you're committed to it, and you live it and you have fun with it, you become an artist of that dream, then it will manifest, you know?
So Last Dragon is, in my top 2 favorite movies of my entire life, Purple Rain and Last Dragon. And the reason that I like it...
When are you going to do a movie?
Huh?
When are you going to do a movie? You got to do
I
a movie.
know, right? When someone wants me to play myself.
Get all your little fans, the actors and singers, and they were all out there.
When I could only play... I could only play myself. I could only play a white guy that dresses fabulous, that loves hip-hop. I could only play myself.
White guy, what do you think? White, black...
I don't know.
Don't do that. Anyway,
you're right. No, you're right. So
I see you dance.
Yes, I have rhythm. So The Last Dragon to me, it's just such a amazingly documented time in history, and there's so many like cultural references and the music and the fashion and the story and everything. It's one of those movies that will live on literally forever in culture. So
we're having a screening, Damon. I'm sorry to cut you off, Damon. We're having a screening on my Facebook Live page on facebook.com/IamTaimak next weekend. So what that means is just like you are here, I'm going to be there while we all hit play on our own Blu-ray DVD stream of The Last Dragon. We're going to hit it at the same time, and I'm going to answer all kinds of Facebook, all kinds of fans' questions. That's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 10, not late night out like you. 7 p.m. on Facebook.com/IamTaimak next Saturday. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Yeah.
Send it to me and I'll post it as well for you. I'll post it on my page for you.
Thank you.
So I won't spend too much time in The Last Dragon, although I want to. Why do you think the movie is such a major part of culture?
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened.
Oh, where'd you go?
Oh, I'm sorry. There we go.
Okay.
Why is the movie such a major part of culture?
Yes. Why is it still culturally relevant?
Because it's a great movie, and they didn't have, it was one of a kind,
Yeah.
You got the best suit you ever wore in your life. You're not going to throw it away. The best shoes, the best woman, the best man, the best whatever. You can't throw it away. It's going to stay with you forever.
That's a great way of saying it. I like that. And yeah, like I had Estelle on here last night who her big hit was American Boy. And she's kind of known for that, but I told her the same thing. That song will be in culture forever. This movie will be in culture forever, literally. It's never going to go away. You know what I mean? And it's just a testament to it being so great, you being so great, and the movie being, really amazing, and also very ahead of its time, I think. So, and then how did your life change kind of after that?
Oh my God, I was a kid, didn't know anything about anything. So it's like, you get kicked out into the jungle, and you learn from all the amazing mistakes.
Yeah.
The one thing was similar to Bruce Leroy is that I trusted too much. You
were young. You were young.
Yeah. But it took a long time for me to learn. I finally learned. I went through hell with all this. And at the end of the day, here we are.
Do you love DeBarge like I love DeBarge?
Of course.
DeBarge is from Detroit. They're one of my favorite groups of all time. I love DeBarge. And then, do you want to tell us anything about Vanity? Take a drink.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, she was very special. She was a little bit older than me, so a little more, she's a little sharper with certain things. So I was like her little puppy. And
more seasoned. She was more seasoned.
Yeah. Well, she was 5 years older than me. So what happened was, once we started shooting, though, she started thinking she owned me, and she would tell me where to sit and all this stuff. And then we started arguing everything, but then we would make up on camera.
Exactly, right. She was nice to look at. And then when did you realize kind of that you had been the star of and made something that was going to kind of be this cultural thing in life? When did it happen 10 years later or then, or like when did you kind of be like, wow, this is going to be something that's going to be, in life forever and people are going to love it forever?
Well, when I was a martial arts fanatic when I was, and I was a kid that, that was my whole life,
Yeah.
And what happened was, I would say, I knew all the martial arts movies. I knew what made a martial arts movie great.
Yep.
And when I started doing this movie, it was a one of a kind, So, hi guys. So hey Carmen. So I just knew it was going to be a hit, but I didn't know so long. You never think that far ahead when you're a teenager,
Yeah. Like 3 decades later, we'd still be talking about it, you and I right now, kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Craig, what's up? He runs my fan page the last. Oh, my mother's here.
Oh, amazing! Really?
My mother said, "Dope, Loretta Watson."
Oh my gosh, amazing! We've been talking about you the whole time. You sound amazing. I would really love to meet you.
Yeah.
He said you're friends with Grace Jones. I'm already a fan of yours.
My sister's there. Yeah.
Oh, great! Welcome, family. Did you ever meet Prince, or do you have any Prince encounters?
No. I was at a couple places where he was at.
Yeah.
But what happened? I think. Well, when I was doing the movie with Vanity, she would talk about him a little bit, but she was like saying, "You know what? He wanted to call me vagina." The group Vanity Six.
I believe that.
So I was like, really? She was like, yeah. That's why I wanted to clean up my image. That's why I chose her for the Last Dragon. I'm the one who got her the part.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when there were a lot of girls went up, so very Gordy.
Great choice. Great choice.
Yep.
So okay, nothing with Prince. So and then I think it was after that you did the Janet Jackson video, then, right?
Yeah. I met her briefly in Los Angeles, and then next thing you know, she was reaching out to try and get me in her video. So that's how that happened.
Was that a good experience, or was that fun, or was that just something you just did?
It was very interesting, but it was very good. She was very professional, and obviously another classic video that everybody likes.
I love it. Yeah, I love that video.
That's Wait Awhile. Yeah.
In black and white, I remember it. Okay, so it's getting to be the 90s. You're in New York, right? You're in New York. And what's the vibe and scene in New York? Club-wise, vibe-wise?
There was what's the name? Zanzibar. No, not Zanzibar. What was it called? Yeah, but no. There was what the hell's the name? Mars.
Yep.
And there was so many that were, but on, I think, 11th Avenue and 12th Street, 13th Street, or the river. What was that called?
Body and Soul? No.
That was right afterwards.
Oh, got it. I mean, you're famous at this point, so I'm sure it's a whole other thing going to clubs and everyone's probably Velvet Rope open for you, and they want you to go.
Rick James used to see me anywhere. He used to scream out really loud. He was very loud and very embarrassing, but he was really great, Rick James was funny. So he would embarrass me, but usually when I ran into him, it was L.A. But in New York, anywhere he saw me, he used to just, "Shut up, nigga!" And he had some girl with him. He said, "You bitches, you know what this is?"
That's so funny.
You don't know the fuck this. He was hilarious.
I feel the same way he feels, by the way. But so yeah, then in the 90s, you're like
the tunnel. Yeah, that was big.
Oh yeah, the tunnel. Sorry, yes. So you're famous. You're probably getting like VIP treatment left and right, all these clubs. And was there any kind of club that you kind of like resonated to in general? Like you did in the 80s, or?
Let me see.
Like, did you go to
There was the Palladium a little bit.
Yeah.
The tunnel a little bit. They didn't have the same soul as the clubs in the 80s.
Yeah.
It started to change, but that's actually Mike Tyson. He met me and I went to train up in the Catskills with him and I'm trying to remember where we went. He used to like the tunnel.
Cheetah? No.
There was No, that was the 80s. Gotham's. No, that was the 80s. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I
Well,
don't
you
know.
said that.
Yeah.
You said the soul wasn't the same, but New York was different than in the 90s and the 80s. I moved to New York in the mid
Yeah.
90s, and it was different. I could, it wasn't like, I wasn't there in the 80s, but I could
Well,
tell
a
it
lot
was.
of guys, because of the hip hop, they started getting a little more hard.
Yeah, it's true.
They,
No, absolutely.
the edge, it was getting very edgy.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot the other club that was mentioned. Bonds was in the 80s, but it was the biggest club in the world, Bonds International Casino. It was 45th Street and Broadway. It was a department store that got turned into a nightclub, and
Amazing.
it was 5,000 people.
Love New York for that.
Oh, and
Okay.
USA. That's what Vin Diesel was doing.
Oh, yeah.
Work.
Yep.
And we met then. Yeah, but that's going back to the 80s. We're in the 90s now. China Club.
Yep. You're right. I moved to New York, and my first job was.
There was the Latin Club. Copacabana.
Oh, yes, exactly. You're right. Great.
Copacabana.
I moved to New York in the mid 90s, and my first job was at Limelight, and the USA was the sister club. Same owner, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did Madonna's Drowned World Tour. How did that come about, and what was that whole story?
Jamie King was her guide director, and
Yep.
he introduced me to her, and she liked me, so I ended up choreographing it.
Okay, cool. And did you work? You worked with her directly, obviously, right?
Yeah. She did this whole number flying around.
Yep, I remember.
Yeah.
And how was she, as opposed to in 1983, as opposed to 2000 or whatever?
Oh, she became a megastar.
No, I know, but how was she? Still nice and all these things to you, or?
Yeah, it was all the people around her who really. They were the ones that were doing everything, so she would just show up to rehearse with me.
Yeah.
She's professional. She knows what she's doing.
I did an event with her about 7 years ago, and I thought everyone around her was going crazy, and she was just chill, because everyone around her was like, she was just like playing with her hair and chewing her gum, and everyone was like freaking out around her. She's like, I thought it was pretty interesting. And was that like a good experience, or was that a good experience for you?
Well, I had an assistant that was trying to take my job behind my back, so I ended up firing him. Yeah, but it's okay. You learn from all these things. It wasn't a happy experience, but it was a great job, and it came out great. But I learned from all of
it. And then you opened a gym kind of after that, right?
Mm-hmm. It was a private training place. The partner, though, he was a bit of a pervert, and he had a tanning salon there. So he used to start to peek at the girls and stuff.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, so I had to get out of there.
Oh no! I didn't know that. Yeah, because I remember that job.
I cut and ran. I got before. Yeah. I had to get out of there.
These are some real New York stories, right?
Definitely.
And
he didn't learn his lesson because he was hung out by his ankles for doing that to a mob guy's sister. So they came and got him, and they hung him outside the window by his ankles. Yeah. Some people never learn, right?
That's a movie right there. That story right there. You mean?
Oh yeah.
So then we met around that time, I think, and we did a couple. You did a couple parties for me.
You threw a birthday party for me. It was great. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. We've done a couple parties together, and what I like about you is, especially when we first met, a lot of people I think would be kind of like shy away from being Bruce Lee, where that, and you embrace it and you celebrate it, which I think is really awesome part of your personality. You're not, you will.
Well, wherever I go, what am I gonna? People recognize me as that character. What am I gonna say? I hate it.
No, but I like that. Yeah. A lot of people would want be like, no, I'm not him or something, and you celebrate it, which is a really great part of your personality. I really admire that about you, and appreciate that about you. So.
Oh, thank you.
And then, so you wrote a book about 2 years ago.
I like this interview. You need a TV show. I like this.
I want a TV show. So
every question is original.
Good.
I haven't heard a repeat of any question.
Good.
In 35 years I've been interviewed. So
good. Thank you.
Come on.
Vanity. To vanity.
Everybody get your drinks out, everybody. Come on. Let's party.
To vanity.
Hit the music. Come on, give us a little, give a good little move. Come on.
So wait, so you wrote a book in
The
what, 2 years
moves,
ago?
baby, moves, Damon. Come on.
What are we doing? Dancing?
One of those moves. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
I got moves. I
Hey,
got moves.
hey.
No music though. Um, okay, so I want to talk to you about your book. So you wrote a book about 2 years ago, was it? How many years ago?
Yeah, about 2.5 years ago, called Time Out
So,
the Last Dragon. It was my autobiography. Yeah.
so, because I don't want to write a book, I want to do a photo book. But how was that process for you? Was it like stressful, or was it like cathartic, or how was the process of writing a book? You know,
Well, I already went through a lot of cathartic moments in doing landmark education seminars, kind of therapy, and
got
so
it.
I went through that. The thing was, I was very injured, so I ripped some muscles and did all that. So I was bedridden. So I had to come up with something because I was losing my mind,
Got
laying
it.
up, and I started writing. I wrote two screenplays, and then I wrote my autobiography. I
Got it.
wanted it to be a picture book, but the publisher was like, "No, it's too expensive," you know. So I wrote 150 pages. He says we need 150 more. I actually want to do an update because I had some really cathartic moments since then that I want
Sure.
to implement and upgrade the book. Yeah.
Yeah, because the idea of writing a book for me is stressful for me. I don't know. That's just how I am, you know.
That's
But
because you're thinking about it and not doing it. When you do it,
you're right. Good point. It's the perfect time to do it in the
like the
quarantine.
dance floor, it's like the dance floor. The person, I want to dance, but I'm in my mind, I'm afraid. But once you start doing it, you let go.
You're right. You're right.
I know I'm
Um,
right.
do you do like inspirational speeches at all? Like you have that kind of part of your personality.
Well, one of the things I see is all this talk about Trump and all the division and all the this and that and all this, and I see how with Ahmaud Arbery getting murdered and all this, and I'm black and Italian, and I've all the way I grew up. My parents were brilliant, especially my mother, with this idea of telling my father that he wants to take his, she wanted my father to bring us to Europe because what happened was there's a thing about America in that they do a lot of labeling, you know. And once you label something, then you can, sell it. It's a brand, you market it. So, for example, I don't call myself quote unquote black. And if I have to say to someone who doesn't know you, well, I have to explain to somebody description, well, he's white, or he's black. But I say quote unquote because when we start treating each other without labels, oh, gay, straight, this, that, when we start treating each other without labels, then we can't be labeled. We can't be branded. Does
That's a
that
great.
make sense?
That's great.
Because what we are as human beings is what we are. And there's a lot of inauthenticity there. So I don't want to give these racists something to sell by, saying you're this, you're that. You're a human
Yeah, you're
being.
right.
So I
If you,
do have I'm going to start a podcast on my birthday, June 27th, and I'm going to talk more deep. I'm going to get real deep and then argue with everybody, but I'll try to hold my temper there.
and let me ask you this: is your depth and your kind of like knowledge of self kind of like maturity and growth, or is it because of your martial arts, or like is it a combination? Like do they tie? Do they go hand in hand?
I think I have a big heart. I've always had a big heart. It's felt deeply. And I think when you have that, you're very sensitive. So I had to learn through my growth is how to be sensitive to others. And then I saw how, I saw the insensitivity out there. There's like tough love and there's love. But when there's
Yeah.
no love, that's inauthentic, That's like
Yeah.
somebody's pushing an agenda. If you're not, So
Yeah. That's great. By the way, I love that. So what is your focus now? What do you have? What are your plans kind of for the next couple of years, do you think, for yourself?
Well, I'm with Buchwald Entertainment. That's Don Buchwald, amazing person, and my agent's name is Scott Kaufman, and then I have a booking agent for these different appearances. But obviously, because of the COVID, those are all stopped for now. But
As have my parties, as have all my parties. So
Exactly, exactly. But we'll have parties like this. This is fun.
Yes,
Um,
yes. We're having fun right now.
yeah. So right now, that's exactly what you said. Right now. So what happened with me? One of the cathartic moments I had was, because I talked to my mother's brother, Uncle Roy, and he's very knowledgeable about many things, history, and
Yeah.
he's close to 80 years old, and he was a Harlem gangster turned accountant, and he's amazing. And he
Sounds
just has
awesome.
so much knowledge, and he talks about history a lot. And I realized that when I was reading and all these things, that and you've heard this plenty of times, the only moment that counts is now. And then I said, wait a minute, there is no history, there is no future. That's all happening now in your head anyway. Not to say that things didn't happen. I'm just saying that I know that there's actually a scientific, theoretical science about it, about what is actually reality. For example, when you dream, right, your body and it doesn't know the difference between sleep reality and wake reality. So in the now, you have a genius within you that's able to create anything. All the history and all the future is in you right now. And it's a different dimension. It's a true artist taps into that. It has nothing to do with the past or the future. You tap into that genius that you are right now and then express it. And people will think they're watching a cosmic divinity. So that's where I'm at right now
Good.
with Damon, legendary Damon, and all these people here, friends, family, and fans, that today, right now, we can tap into the genius self, that God within, let's say, right? The power of the glow.
Well, like I said, first when you started talking, I said, "Well, that's a little deep for me," but I understand the point. It's kind of basically the point is kind of being present as
Well,
well.
it's a pandemic, Damon. Hello, it's a little deep, okay?
Okay,
You
I'm just
can't
saying.
leave your house.
I was kind of
You
like,
can't work.
I was kind of like trying to figure it out. But I think the kind of point is like being present and being, being kind of yourself and
Yeah,
being at
but
peace.
not present to your thoughts of doubt, fear, and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
That's not being present. That's being in your mind.
Yes.
That's not being in your genius self.
You're right. I like that too.
You talk about writing a book. You got to get into that genius self. That just does it right now. There's no future. There's no past.
I'm gonna write that down. I want to get into my genius self. I'll
That'll
quote
be
you.
your book, The Genius Self of Legendary Damon.
Thank you. So I want to see. First of all, will you please do me before I see if anyone has any questions? Will you please do me
Gina
one?
Bibb loves you. She says, I love you, Damon.
Listen,
Gina.
thank you guys. Will you do me one big favor because I love you and your movie. Will you tell me one thing, please, that I want to hear?
Who's the master?
No, that's not what I want to hear. You don't want to hear. I have the what?
You got the glow, baby.
Thank you. I am the coolest person I know. I have the glow. That's all I want to hear in life. It doesn't get any better than that. So thank you for that. Does anybody have any questions for the legendary Taimak? Sorry, Taimak.
Thank you.
Let me see if anybody has any questions. Yes, Vanity, someone said, so we'll take a
That's
drink.
my sister.
Mm. I can't wait. I want to meet your family and I want to meet your mom. I want to hang out with her. She sounds amazing. So.
Yes.
Um,
Any question? Does he forgive and forget? It depends what you did. No, I'm just saying. Of course. I don't. How do my thing is to live in this state of now and happiness. So, I don't. I do forgive. And
Any other questions, guys? Oh, they're coming. They're just saying, I love you, Mike. Thanks.
Am I still working on the movie Master? What it is I've got my agent really trying to find the right project that's going to be funded, and that's something that we're in the works on. There's all kinds of questions. How did you separate the movie glow from reality? Well, the movie glow and reality glow is kind of the same thing. It's finding that genius within, the master within. That's the same thing as the movie. You have to find that master within. That's the journey of understanding, self-understanding. Hi, Andrea. Will
They're
you make a
asking.
documentary? Will you make a documentary about what? Yeah, of course, this is a documentary. Well, I have ideas. Maybe one day. Does Ty have any movie projects coming up? Netflix needs to add The Last Dragon back. They said Netflix needs to bring The Last Dragon back.
I agree with that. I bought that DVD like once every 5 years. I always lose it.
Someone asked me, what's my favorite sneakers? Well, I ran marathons, so I liked New Balance.
Everyone's asking, did you know Bruce Lee's family, or did you meet them, or?
I actually met, his son, Brandon, and I met Shannon. But Brandon I met before he passed away, and he told me that he liked The Last Dragon a lot. And, that was
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Like me, he liked The Last Dragon. Anything else that you?
Last Dragon animated series in the making. What do I think of it? Oh, I think that he's doing a really good job with the animated series. That's a concept, but we don't know, because Sony owns the rights to The Last Dragon. So we'll see what happens. Do you know Shannon Lee, Bruce Lee's daughter? I do know her, but not like friendly. We don't know each other, like call her on the phone every day. Are you and Michael Jai White working on? Yeah, we're working on a project. Me and Michael Jai White. He has a script that he wrote that he wants to get done, and we were planning to get it going, but the pandemic happened. So once the pandemic's over, we'll get back in meetings about it, and it looks like pretty good.
Someone asked this, but I kind of want to ask too. What was your favorite scene to film in The Last Dragon?
Oh, well, I enjoyed working with Vanity when we weren't fighting, and then and Shonuff was crazy, and that would make me laugh. The Chinese guys were extremely funny. They were,
yep, I love them too. Yeah.
Someone cracking up.
Someone else says, did you ever meet Larry the Van?
I was in the garage all the time. I was up in the. I sent you some pictures of.
I know, but someone else asked.
Yeah.
Tell them, not me.
Yeah, I used to hang out. Yeah, love the garage. I used to live there.
It's
Larry
amazing.
the Van had the best, most incredible spirit, full of energy, funny, but great DJ. Amazing. He was amazing.
I'm envious. I never got to go there, and I really wish. Like, so many people talk about it being so amazing. I never got to go. So.
Go to one of David Pino, and it's not the same, but it is the same spirit in a way, David Pino and Joey Lawrence. Yeah.
Well, I base all my parties off of the inspiration of that danceteria.
Favorite food, Indian food. I love Indian, but not too spicy. And Italian. But good. Somebody asked me my favorite food. What were you saying, Damon?
Just that all my parties are, kind of base them off this inspiration of danceteria and Paradise Garage and stuff now. They're inspired by that.
What happened to little brother? Oh, he passed away. Yeah, my little brother from the movie, Leo Bryan, passed away. Yeah. He got shot and then had complications afterwards. Have you considered doing martial arts consultant work on different movie projects? Hey, if anything is real, then it comes to my agent, then I'll consider doing a lot of different things. Have you ever met Wesley Snipes?
We have 3 minutes left and Instagram will hang up. So I want to thank you for doing this, Taimak. I really appreciate it. The point is, I want to celebrate people that are extremely important to culture. I think you're extremely important to culture. You had a very rich life. Growing up as a child, you had this amazing, long, lengthy career, both in, Hollywood, but also in martial arts. I think that you are a kind, deep, cool, interesting person that needs to be celebrated for your cultural contribution. So that's what this is really about. So,
Well, thank you so much, and much success to you, legendary Damon.
Thank you.
And we will be on another one soon.
Yes, thank you.
Definitely let everybody know about my Facebook Live next Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Send me the stuff and I'll post it as well for you. I will. So.
Thank you. Much love.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you doing this. Thank you. Legend. Bye. See you later.